children were just so enthusiastic and every day saying, "Are you coming back? Are you coming back?"
Their ability to be able to change and adapt their space to suit them was something that they found empowering.
The kids want to be able to safely explore danger.
Even a staff member said, "This should be happening all the time."
The premise of this whole week was to go and work with children of a preschool age and really find a way of using the arts to facilitate their voices in asking them to consider notions of what is friendly to children so that the government can then use that information as part of writing their policy for a child-friendly state. We had working with us a musician, a choreographer, a theatre maker and a designer.
The first thing we started with was a huge 5-metre floor cloth, which became a magic carpet, which became a magic space in which things could happen. It's as simple as that. And then from that, it evolved further. We played with boxes and did other things and so on. We ended up giving walls to the magic carpet. It was just like a bare canvas or an open space that children could play with and express themselves. It was about their capacity to be able to negotiate that space freely that became an empowerment, and that's what a lot of the design really was aimed at.
My favourite part was seeing those 2 children inside a great big box, and all you could see was 4 feet walking with this great big box. They couldn't see anything. They didn't know where they were going. They were obviously looking at each other in the box.
We've got an idea to make you happy, King Jack. We're going to sing you a song. Would that make you happy?
They're at a stage of development where their ideas and their imaginations are developing and unfolding. So if we facilitate and lead their play, then they kind of take that and then take it to the next level, and then we can throw them more ideas in the mix.
There's been some research done by a woman from Queensland called Cassandra Waddell. She was looking at very young audiences for theatre, but I think it applies to play, to childcare centres, or I think it actually applies to adults too. But she said there's sort of a natural division between 5. There's the dramatist, who has to get in there and imitate and do. There's the mystic, who just goes, "Wow, this is amazing, this is fantastic." There's the technician, and we had several technicians who had to come over and see what you were doing there. There's the spectator, who just goes with the flow, and there's the conversationalist, the one who has to talk it through. And I think that's what we saw on this magic carpet at the end.
Everybody in the Magic Kingdom, today is a very special day.
Children are able to be 4 years old and caught up in that moment and that character and that story, that it's not always about what's the next stage of development a child's moving on to. It's about, I can put on a wig and I can become something, and then I can take that off and put on a tail or a scarf, and reimagining becoming over and over and over who I am and who I can be.
There's certain things like, rhythmic and harmonic elements make more impact when you're improvising. Strong beat, let's dance, or the up high tones up here, the fairies are dancing, and clusters of notes are sort of putting people into I don't know where I am, mysterious sort of frames of mind.
Could that be something to do with your building? Every time they were given the choice to move something or change the arrangement of things, they took it up, and I just think that that's when they're happiest, when they can see that there are options and they can take those options.
They're quite happy to do actions as long as the actions change fairly regularly. And this is something that I kind of felt from today, was that they like the stimulus of something new and the next thing. They do like to go back again, as we've identified already, that idea of repeating an activity, but perhaps going on with a number of different stimulus and then coming back.
The really interesting moments happened when children would make a suggestion about something and not jump into the first instinct of saying, no, that's not right because it doesn't fit my preconceived ideas, but to actually listen to what the child is saying and saying, is this a proposition that's worth taking forward, and to developing it a bit further. But that wasn't chaotic. That was actually just taking time to listen to the child, and I found that really fascinating.
And what we found in over the 4 days we were exploring with these young children was that they wanted to construct their own world. And they didn't need to have kind of solid formal materials. The cardboard boxes, they were able to turn into whatever shape, form or environment that they could think of that suited their creative journey at that particular moment. And they could flatten it, they could open it out, they could climb in it, they could climb under it. They could pack it away, bring it in, put it together and create a little city out of it if they wanted to.
Big house.
Yes, and what's in it?
Watch out! We're going to put that there.
And that seems to be what's lacking in their world in terms of how we formalised it, that we create the play equipment, we shape it and they just use it. So they don't, it's not a co-constructed process where they actually get to make it themselves and make it according to the feeling and thought and the emotion or the journey that they want to go on in this particular point in time.
Oh, now let's have...
One of the challenges for us is to really look at what is getting in the way. Do we value creativity and the arts and play? And if we do, then how do we make it that it can happen?
Oh, the lion. I remember that scary lion. What happened with the lion? The lion and the tiger. And what happened? Oh, that was so much fun. What did they do at the sleepover?
It really is the adult's responsibility to create an environment that has many options. So it can still be a safe place, but within that, there can be many options.
The childcare centre itself, which is a fantastic facility that a lot of countries don't have, but looking at that space and saying not a lot of play appears to be happening here is part of the reason for that, the amount of resources and support that is given to childcare at an early level. And you say the best way of supporting these things is it might in part be teaching adults how to play, but it's also support families, support community and support the childcare centres.